everybody, and welcome. This is Perspectives, the home edition. I'm Sam Jones. I've been with you for the last 14 years. Pretty amazing how quickly time has gone by. I have never in my lifetime, as I know you have not either, been through anything like the past year. The lockdown, the pandemic, everything we've gone through. Our station manager, Royal Ailes, came down with COVID and beat it and came back, and we're all very grateful for that. And Emily Spivey is my director and editor and producer and jack of all trades. And I have to tell you, I want to brag on her just a minute. She's probably by far the best editor director I have ever worked with in all my years in the business. And who'd have thought I would encounter folk like the folks I've met at Rogers State Public Television for the last television elements of my life, and come to know and really appreciate all their talents and all they put into doing all that they do. So a nod and a tip of the hat to everybody involved at Rogers State Public Television. Now, let's get down to business. First guest today is a fellow by the name of Ryan Howell. Ryan is with the Riverparks here in Tulsa. And Ryan, it's good to have you on, my friend.
Thanks, Sam. It's really good to be here.
I wanted to go over first just a little bit. Is it Riverparks Authority or is it just Riverparks?
It is the Riverparks Authority. We are a quasi-government agency of a marriage between the city of Tulsa and the county of Tulsa that established a independent park management agency for the lands along the river.
Well, let's go up, if we could, and kind of focus on one specific area that you guys and gals are all working and embracing and taking care of, and that's Turkey Mountain. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, Turkey's a wonderful place. I love talking about it.
First of all, I have to tell you, I was surprised about a couple of things I read in your write-up. Nobody knows where the name Turkey Mountain came from.
That is true. Yeah, we get that a lot. Everybody wonders where it came from, and it appears on maps as far back as 1898. It was just labeled Turkey Mountain on the map, and so that's what it's always kind of been called.
The other thing, and this will give us a chance to dispel a myth that's been out there for, Lord, as long as I've been in Tulsa, that there are rocks or boulders over there, if you will, with what a lot of folks said were carvings left by the Vikings when they came through. But that's not true, is it?
It's unfortunately not. If you look on like the Wikipedia page for Turkey Mountain, right now it says that there are petroglyphs up there that the Vikings left, and that's an old urban legend. There are some scratchings in the rocks up there, but we've had archaeologists out to look at them, who are real archaeologists, not the pretend kind that you see on the History Channel. And they've told us that those are likely the inscriptions done by either the oil and gas men that were working out there in the 1920s and 30s, or by the ranchers and the farmers that lived there. And as a matter of fact, we have a Tulsa World article from 1906, Tulsa Tribune article from 1906 that actually specifically states that one of the farmer's daughters inscribed her dad's name in those rocks, and it's likely she probably, was a young girl and, just out there scratching, symbols of dolls and people and horses and stuff like that. So probably all attributed to her from 1906.
Well, it makes for great storytelling.
It does, yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the mountain. It is a prime natural state environment set for recreational use, isn't it?
Yes, it absolutely is. One of the things that we're trying to engage is actually when you go out to Turkey Mountain and you look at it and you see, it's so beautiful. But what we've actually learned over the last few years is that Turkey Mountain is actually kind of full of a lot of invasive species, certain trees and plants and grasses that aren't native to Turkey Mountain. And we hope to start working to eradicate some of those through a variety of different management practices. So we actually want to return, we actually want to make turkey a little more wild. So,
Yeah, that matches up some of the folks that might want to visit there.
yeah.
You have also supported the concept that it's a wonderful place to hike, but there are warnings that go along with that.
There sure are. Turkey Mountain has grown up over the years. It's never had trails that were properly designed. The trails just kind of went wherever people wanted to go. So they saw a deer create a little track or whatever, and they followed that track. And those trails weren't built in any sustainable way. They just weren't. And so we recently developed a master plan to try and get a hold of this wild, unplanned trail, and these, sorry, and we're working to redevelop the trails out there so that they're built in a sustainable way, and so that they are built in a logical way that people won't get lost as much. Right now, it's a spider web out there if you go out there trails, and so we're hoping to eliminate a lot of that through this work we're fixing to do.
Is there any kind of public map available?
Yeah, absolutely. On riverparks.org, we actually have a current map of the trails as they stand right now. That map was created about 4 years ago, and since then, social trails, as they're called, unauthorized rogue trails, as we call them here at Riverparks, have grown tremendously. And so if you use that map, it's not 100% accurate. You will find that there's a lot of additional trails on there, and that kind of contributes to the issue of people getting lost out there and needing rescues. So you can find that on riverparks.org. There's also an app that you can download for your phone called All Trails, ALLTRALS, and you can download that application, and it actually can pinpoint you on that map and has all the trails out there. And so that's a great way to help people from getting lost.
And there are recommendations that if you do decide to hike it, take your cell phone.
Yes, absolutely. Take a cell phone, and especially as we're rolling into summer, take plenty of water for you and your pets. And that's one of the things we ran into is people will bring water for themselves, but they often forget their little furry friends who need just as much, if not more, water than you. Currently, we recommend taking 1 full liter of water for every 30 minutes you plan to be on the trail. So for you and your furry friends.
Where's the entrance?
The entrance is located at 6850 South Elwood Avenue. Now that is just, if you're familiar with 71st Street, right as you cross the bridge going towards like Tulsa Hills, headed west, the first stoplight you come to, you take a left, that's Elwood. You go up Elwood about half a mile, and that's the main trailhead for Turkey Mountain, and it has a large paved parking lot with lights and a restroom facility. There are climbing boulders for the children. And then if that parking lot gets full up, if you just keep traveling up to the top of the hill, you'll see it once you get out there. There's an overflow parking lot that you can access as well.
And there's also a place for those that want to take their horses, where they can pull in with their trailers, offload the horses, and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. They can go to that upper lot and utilize that lot. And there's plenty of room for the horse trailers to be able to turn around in. We don't currently recommend horse trailers coming when it's really busy, like on a busy Saturday or Sunday. During the weekday, there's usually a lot less traffic, because what some of the horse trailers have found is even though they pull in there and park, a lot of our users they don't know that there's horses associated with the trailers, and so they'll pull up right behind the trailer and park, and then all of a sudden the trailer can't get in and out, and they can't get their horses in and out. And so we try to recommend.
Yeah, they end up with a longer stay at Riverparks at Turkey Mountain than they fully intended. So to find it, easiest way to find it is right straight down 71st, across the river, and make a right turn on Elwood and just drive. You're headed right up there.
Yeah, exactly. You're headed right into the heart of the mountain.
Now, I want to caution folks, I have a snake phobia. I mean, a bad one. Rubber snakes even send me over the edge. There's poison ivy, and
Yes.
there are snakes. And if you see them, don't try to corral them or shoo them off, according to
No.
what I read. But I mean, even I know that. Give them a
Yeah.
wide berth because it is a wild place, essentially.
It is. You know, the snakes, the poison ivy, the deer, the turkeys that do live out there, that's their home, and we're just visitors to it. And we'll often see, we do have some variety of poisonous snakes out there. Copperheads and cottonmouths are known to exist at Turkey Mountain, but there's a large number of other non venomous snakes that are out there, rat snakes, king snakes, and the like. And so those are actually really good for the environment because they tamp down on a lot of the mice and other little critters that we kind of find, annoying. And so it's part of the natural, circle of life out there. And so even those poisonous snakes, this is still their home. And we really, really encourage people just to, if you see one,
Well,
leave it
that
alone.
brings me back
It's
to
not,
something I said earlier. You really need to know your horse before
yeah,
you venture in.
yeah, absolutely true. So yeah, just
You don't
leave
want
those alone.
you don't want a horse taking a nosedive off that thing. There are 2 ponds up there. Any fish in them?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, there's 11 ponds at Turkey Mountain. A lot of them are hard to access unless you are a big avid hiker. But there's a great pond right off the upper lot on the Blue Trail that is actually stocked by the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife on a regular basis. They put sunfish and catfish in there, and it is part of the Closer to Home fishing program that the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife promotes.
Listen, Ryan, I want to thank you for taking time to visit with us about one of the wonderful assets that we have in this part of the country. And it is truly still very wild in that area, even though there are maps available and there's some development. You got to watch your step to really enjoy it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
my friend. And maybe we can talk again next year. All right?
Let's do it.
All right. We'll take a short break. We'll be back right after this.